Well, 6:38 is your time, and thanks so much for staying with us here on Sunrise Live on E as well as Igasi Plus. Now, they've just returned from the 2015 SEMA Global Business Challenge, which was held in Poland, representing South Africa, and the team obviously consists of 4 students from Charter Quest Financial Training Institution. Now, the purpose of the challenge was for students to interact with their counterparts from other countries and showcase their business management skills. So, to help us understand more about the challenge, we're joined in studio by 2 representatives from Charter Quest Financial Training Institution who also participated in this fantastic global opportunity. Tshabalala as well as Justice Tshabalala, and their mentor Valentine T joins us in studio as well. So of course we do invite you at home. We're speaking all business related matters this morning. Give us a call and be part of it. 011-537-9337 or 9338, and also do feel free to leave your comments on our Facebook as well as on our Twitter pages. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Now, first of all, I think I have to say welcome back. How was Poland? How was the weather in Poland? You guys were telling me it was a bit hot. Was it great, Justice?
It was very hot. Actually, it was great because here we were witnessing winter. So we went on the other side, we had scarves on, and we realized it's very hot, and it was quite fun.
Now, obviously, we're going to delve more into about your guys' experience and also what have you taken away as a form of business training and business management. But to start off with you, Valentine, I mean, a lot of times when it comes to understanding issues around business, these guys went on a business management sort of innovation competition. And when you bring it into the South African context, many would say that South Africans don't even understand the difference between entrepreneurship and business management, which are 2 very separate entities. Tell us and expound further about those differences.
All right, that's a pretty good one. Basically, if you elementary economics, business economics will tell you there are 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital, entrepreneurial talent. These are the 4 things that you need for an economy to grow and expand.
Yeah.
Once you're talking about business management, entrepreneurship, I would largely classify management as part of labor, broadly speaking, even though we understand that in a typical company there's labor, there's management. But entrepreneurial talent would actually look at the risk taker, the person who would initially conceptualize that idea, understand how the idea fits together to solve a particular purpose or to resolve a particular problem in an economy, in a market, or in a segment.
The creator of something out of
creator.
Nothing.
You see the idea, you say, I can create this thing, I can make it work. And then you begin to assemble the necessary tools for that to be born, so to speak. It's like giving birth to a baby is one thing. That's what the entrepreneur does. But the manager actually is almost like a nanny who takes that baby whilst the mother is going out to try and earn a living, to make sure the manager makes sure that that baby is well nurtured whilst the mother is away, and ensure that all the objectives of the entrepreneur is actually achieved. That's actually where the difference is.
All right, and of course, I mean, guys, having come back from Poland and participating in this competition of yours, I mean, when you see, looking at the statistics, especially which show in the South African context, that 3 out of 5 businesses fail within the very first 5 years, would you say it's because people are not necessarily getting the right business managers, and this is exactly why you guys saw opportunities within the market, Justice?
Okay, yes, I would say that's the reason. For example, other countries, like for example the case study competition, other countries participate in like a whole lot of case study competitions, but we as South African universities and colleges, we are absent from these case study competitions. So therefore we learned that as we went there and meeting our peers that side, these guys have participated in many competitions. Probably it's the 3rd competition this year, and ours is only the 1st. So now it starts from the root level. So we need to have more case study competitions, and with the expertise that we learn from that side, we want to also start our own this side, so that now we start dealing with the root cause. We make sure that we participate in these case study competitions. By the time we're qualified, we're able to get into the market, we're able to solve these real business problems that we face.
Is that exactly where the problem lies when it comes to implementation, looking at the fact that we may have theory, but we're not necessarily having the actual practical tools to equip business managers, to equip entrepreneurs even, to take this economy to the next level? So,
yes, I would definitely agree with that analysis, in that what we're seeing is that there's a separation between what we're talking about in terms of implementing and what we're talking about from school. So with case studies, the lovely thing is that you're given practical examples from industry in terms of the problems they face, and then you're given skills of how to deal with those. So for instance, going from prioritizing them, analyzing them, and then finally coming with a recommendation. Those are some of the things that perhaps are not coming through from the education that we're at the moment getting from tertiary. So I think if we do, as Justice was alluding to, in terms of having case study competitions that we build that culture where people are practically actually applying their skills.
And you even talking about case study
yeah.
competitions and even having case studies even in universities. So not necessarily, Valentine, taking the actual skills outside of the country and even being a global competition, but even locally conducting those competitions and case studies so that indeed young people are able to get more groomed in terms of the realities that exist within the marketplace.
Speaking to your statistics, good one, once again, you just cut it right where the challenge is.
Yeah.
We have entrepreneurs. We don't have a shortage of culture in terms of identifying opportunities.
So we've got
creating.
entrepreneurial culture.
We do have
Yeah.
that. South Africa continuously comes amongst the very tops in the world in terms of an entrepreneurial culture. But yes, the statistics is very grim. 5 out of almost 7 would fail in the next 1 to 2 to 3 years. It comes to the managerial expertise. It's a blessing to be a good entrepreneur, but at the same time to be a good manager. But that's not something that can easily reside within the same individual.
So I
And
don't
that's where we
necessarily
fit in.
have to be a good manager, but I can be a good entrepreneur. So then how do I make my money then, guys? How do I not have a business that fails? Tshabalala?
That's when then you come in with the SEMA, let's say qualified manager. You're looking at someone who's a management accountant. So it's someone who's going to be able to understand how to actually break you into the market, whilst at the same time aligning with what your objectives are. So it's not just about pure numbers. It's also about managing people, managing resources that Ms. Ntia had spoken about earlier on. So they will be able to marry those things for you in order for that creative idea that you came to actually bear something.
All right, now we're going to take some of the Facebook comments at home, but I'm going to ask you, Justice, when we come back about exactly how do we do that without a budget. And of course, we're still taking your calls as well as we look at entrepreneurship in South Africa. It is over to you, Penny.
Thank you to Faith. Of course, we asked you to be part of our conversation on our Facebook page this morning. The question that we asked you is, we're talking a business challenge, Character Quest Financial Institution, Training Institution. What are some of the challenges that young business leaders are facing today? And these are your comments. As Tembiso Dlamini is saying, it is a know-how to save their capital because most of the businesses are being closed down because of financial struggle. Prosper Chauke saying, shortage of capital, unregistered businesses which operate all over the country, giving stiff competition to add more. Shortage of management skills is another challenge. Mauchim Patlele saying they're fighting a losing battle with the Asians. Khanyang Mkwebi saying they are undermined. They're told that their ideas are not big enough for their existing business. The question is, do I have to die before I can run a funeral parlor? They're not given too much space to explore, no funding, no training, and lack of support. Siabonga saying maturity and life cycle. William Malamula Pierce saying lack of business management skills and knowledge. Colin Genzani saying lack of support and funding. Innocent Kwana saying lack of experience in business. Bongani saying lack of knowledge and experience and also in finance. Nikim Khali saying finance and the lack of a hard startup capital. Zipiwa Dube saying they don't get enough financial support and some of them don't have mentors who will guide them and lead them. And the other problem, some are not skilled enough. And another one, they want to exercise real business ethics and sticking to policies, but they're better that be strictly rather and customer orientated. That's why Asians particularly are discouraging in getting most out of business. Funding comes after this bureaucratic tendency is eliminated. And Batsini is saying they are facing the challenge of biting the competitor. Those are some of your comments, of course, that came through on our Facebook page this morning. Back to Faith in studio.
Well, thank you very much for that, Penny. When we're looking at some of those challenges that have been articulated on our Facebook pages, it's nothing new, right? We know that it's access to markets, access to financing, and obviously having mentors that will take you through. Now, the question that I pose to you, Justice, is that how do I do that without the funding? How do I do that and have a business that will actually succeed without business management skills? And I can't pay a business manager at this stage to fund my business. So what happens then?
Okay, basically it goes back to finding the right place to groom yourself. There are quite a large number of opportunities in our country. It's just that as the youth are not aware of those. For example, we went to the competition out there. What we learned is that as the Facebook post was stating, we are losing against the Asians. The Asians, they've learned to do the things themselves. Like, for example, we came back, we took the opportunity to ourselves that we want to start our own case study competition that is going to be run by us. So we take the expertise that we got from that side. So we want to input it to our fellow peers, input knowledge that we got from the other students around the country. So we want to teach them or let them know the expertise that they need to compete in this kind of case study competitions and to be able to. So now when we learn these aspects from these case study competitions that we're running ourselves, we're able to come out of there. We know how to make it without funding. We know how to make it without the support that we need. But however, we came up and said, no, we're taking this responsibility to ourselves, and that's why we're running our own competition that is called the CFO.
Well, Valentine, obviously I'm going to pose a question to you regarding the importance of mentorship. And I mean, Justice was just mentioning a very interesting point around the agents being independent. And I took that issue of independence, and they're able to be innovative in that regard. And of course, at home, we invite you as always to participate in conversation with us. Sam, you calling in from the Northwest this morning. Good morning to you, Sam.
Good morning, Faith.
Hi, Sam. Yes, what's your question or your comment?
I've got a question and a comment.
Yes, go ahead, Sam.
My question is, what is the difference between an entrepreneur and a business person? And the second thing is that if you start a business and you need funding, it clearly means that you are not on the right track. Because if you have to start a business, it has to start running by itself, and then the funding will follow. You look at some of the street vendors who are doing business. They don't necessarily need a cash injection. They sell. They start small, then they grow. As they grow, is then whereby the small, medium, micro enterprises development project that can come in and give them a cash injection and infrastructure.
Yeah.
Because of a lot of young entrepreneurs, the problem is infrastructure. Because you look next to the malls, they've got these shacks and stuff, and they're selling food, they're selling fruits and vegetables. So I think the main problem, the main concern is infrastructure. I am Daniel Sam on Twitter. That's my Twitter handle.
Thank you very much for that comment there. And the question, Sam. Sam saying that we perhaps got the entire narrative wrong about seeking funding first and then being able to start the business. But he also wanted to highlight the difference. And we touched on this, Valentine, you and I were talking about the difference between a business manager and an actual entrepreneur. Just for Sam, very quickly, those differences.
All right, quickly. An entrepreneur sees the opportunity, identifies it, takes the risk. Some people can see opportunity, they cannot take the risk. The entrepreneur is the individual who sees it, takes the risk, creates the platform or the infrastructure necessary for that business to begin to flourish. A manager takes it over and actually runs it, puts in place HR policies, marketing policies, comes up with a strategy in how to penetrate different market segments, put in place programs to manage the risks, programs to raise the necessary capital to fund the idea. Sometimes you can have those two set of skills in the same individual. That's what I call a blessing. To be an entrepreneur, ability to see the opportunity, take the risk, but at the same time manage the activities of the business through its life cycle from introductory phase, growth phase, all the way to maturity phase, and how to constantly re-engineer those. So to put it in simple terms, you create the opportunity and get it off the ground within, in effect, 6 months. That's what an entrepreneur does. A manager takes it and puts in place programs to make sure that that opportunity realizes the benefits which was envisaged by the entrepreneur.
And of course, I'm going to ask you guys about exactly where can I find adequate and appropriate business managers to be able to take my business to the next round, especially after the 6 months. But we've also got a call on the line. Benson, good morning to you. Hello, Benson. Okay, we seem to be struggling to get a hold of Benson there as well. But of course, do make sure that you keep in contact with us as we're talking about all entrepreneurship-related issues this morning. Making money it is. Mentorship. One can never underestimate the importance of having an appropriate mentor. How important is mentorship, and where can I acquire a mentor, a business mentor for that regard?
All right, another good one. Let's start with mentorship at the level of the commitment of the leadership of the country in terms of the understanding from the political level all the way to business level in terms of the importance to support and groom young people to become the future leaders of the country or of the economy, so to speak. It starts from there. But if we're going to individualize it, here's a team that left to go and compete in Poland with just Charter Quest, which is a 5-year-old institution focused on business management, grooming leaders, with very little support and mentorship, but they did extraordinarily well. You have other teams from Asia that had their governments, basically the embassy, supporting them, companies, actually fly them all the way to support them. That shows you the degree of commitment to supporting young people that at the political level in the Asian countries has been identified, as well as at the level of business that is required for actually for this kind of young people to actually achieve those kind of extraordinary results. So it starts from there. But at our level, as a matter of charter codes, we believe in mentorship. That's why we set up an institute to groom future business leaders. We don't only do training from the point of view of CIMA. There is ACCA, there is CFA. All these are different specialist areas in accounting and finance with a strong focus on managerial excellence. So if you're going to be asking the question, where you're going to get this type of mentors, that's basically where CharterQuest fits in. We have young people who are graduating, they're finishing, we're incubating them, giving them practical work experience. In fact, the experience that they get from this, they're taking a live company.
Yeah, but then you guys are talking about CharterQuest, which is fantastic, and it's a fantastic opportunity, especially for anybody that wants to gain the business management skills.
Yeah.
Come with me at home and to speak to the individual who cannot be at CharterQuest, unfortunately, but seeks to have the very same experiences that you guys have, or seeks to have the very same skills to equip their businesses that you guys have. Where can that individual find a mentor that can take their business to the next level, in your opinion?
I would say, for instance, start at home. So start with wherever it is you are currently going to school.
Yeah.
I would say be brave. Get out of your box. Engage with whoever it is that is teaching you, and let them know what your ambitions, what your goals are. You know, I would say start from that point, and then if you, for instance, come up with barriers, there's so many institutions we have within the country that we don't necessarily take advantage of. So there's firstly the professional bodies, but secondly, I would also mention organizations such as the National Youth Development Agency. I would say those are some of the platforms that you can approach. You know, if you're seeking for people who can perhaps assist you in terms of mapping where you'd like to go and how to get there.
Yeah. Being able to take advantage of some of those existing opportunities. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And congratulations for the case studies and for being one of those guys that participated in Poland.
Yeah.
Welcome back home. And I hope that you really do strive and achieve the best as business leaders in this country.
Okay.
You guys are going so far.
Thank you very
so much to you as well, Valentine, for being an absolute outstanding mentor. We've been speaking to two representatives from CharterQuest Financial Training Institutions, Tshabalala, as well as Justice Tshabalala, alongside their mentor, Valentine D, who just took part in the 2015 SEMA Global Business Challenge. They come back tired, jet lag, but indeed ready to take on the world. Sunrise.